Yeah, we played against each
Live
other.
from Radio Row right here. Super Bowl 59 taking place on Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Come on now. We got tight end central right now. Dennis Pitta, Todd Heap. How we doing, gentlemen?
We're doing great. It's great to be here.
I love it. I'm excited because why? We always stick together as Ravens. Is that what we do? Tight ends?
You're a Raven guy?
Look, I am now.
Let's go.
I feel like I'm right with you guys right now.
Ravens, tight ends, yeah, we stick together.
You were a tight end, right? That's kind of your background?
Yeah, 5'10 and a half, maybe $175.
Kind of the prototypical size.
Yeah. If you met up with me, the block and dummy, you can use me as something like that. But let's have some fun with this, too, because both of you guys had a lot of success in the NFL. Same organization, but was it two different coaches? Did you guys overlap at all?
We overlapped 1 year.
Did you?
So my 10th year was Dennis's rookie season.
Yeah.
So
now, what'd you
basically taught him everything he knows. Any success that he ever had. The Super Bowl, he scored a touchdown.
Yep.
Thanks to me. 12 years ago today, played in the Super Bowl. I think I taught him how to run that route.
Ooh.
What route was that, Todd?
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
I don't know, but it was.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even know. You're taking credit for things you don't even know. Listen, it's great to be back here in New Orleans because when we played in the Super Bowl, this is the last time I was in New Orleans. Was Super Bowl 47, 12 years ago now. Yep. Obviously, what was once the Mercedes Superdome. I think it's a different name now, right?
Now we got dice in there. We got tables. Yeah.
That's right. But anyways, so many good memories from that time.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a whirlwind of a week with all the media obligations you have, trying to balance practice and every other distraction that goes on that week of the Super Bowl. But, man, it ended great, and we were fortunate to come away with a win. Now,
you were in one of the more iconic Super Bowls. Obviously, you won it. That's the main thing that you love. But the power going out, and everybody probably asked you the same question. What did you guys do when the power went out? Were you hanging out, stretching?
I mean, if you actually watch the video, we were kind of all sitting around on the field, trying to stretch out a little bit, talking, trying to figure out really what was going on because there was so much chaos and kind of confusion when the lights initially went out because a lot of people might think like all the lights went out, but it was really only half the stadium.
Yeah.
So on our half of the field, the lights were still on, but really on kind of the other end of the field, half those halogen lights had gone off. We didn't know when they were going to come back on. We didn't know, how long we were going to be sitting there. And so it was really a weird time. And in particular, to be on the biggest stage in all of sports, in the biggest game of any of our lives, and we're sitting here confused for what ended up being 45 minutes on the field with the lights out. And so it was a really weird time. You don't anticipate something like that happening in the Super Bowl, much less in any other level of football that we've played in previously. But what a crazy experience. And fortunately, we were able to come away with a win. Now, we had all the momentum in the first half.
Yes, you did.
We returned the opening kick in the second half. Then the lights go out, which there's all kinds of theories that circulate for the reasoning why those lights went out. Most people are going to blame Beyonce and her halftime show, which I'm sure was tremendous.
Too much power.
But, it was unusual timing for sure. And with a 28-6 lead, when the lights went out, we lost all that momentum. And the 49ers, to their credit, came storming back in that game, but we were able to hold on.
Crazy stuff. And also, Todd, when you were in Baltimore, sort of that world championship, years go by, another world championship he picks up, but you were first-round draft pick, one of the best tight ends in football. What was your career high? 73 catches one season? What was your high number?
You
were in the mid-70s at least 1 year.
I couldn't tell you. I think I was mid-high 70s. I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention to stats like Dennis did, but had a great career. Loved 10 years in Baltimore. I was smack dab right in between two Super Bowls, but you know what? I wouldn't trade it for anything. The 10 years and the guys I got to play with and the experiences that I had, it was phenomenal. Baltimore Ravens organization is next to none. So all the people that I met, ownership from Art Modell to Steve Bisciotti, they were fantastic. We had great leadership at every level, and that's what kind of the Ravens organization is known for. And so they keep those guys around for a long time. So that it was impressive to see an organization run in that manner, first-class manner, for 10 years.
And the legacy that lives on. Mark Andrews now, another great tight end, eating it up here. Now, by the way, Baltimore Ravens, obviously you guys played there. Big fans of the team now, close to the team? How we feel about the team?
For sure. I think we both still live and breathe Baltimore Ravens. And we're such big fans. We love Lamar Jackson, love Mark Andrews, love the addition of Derrick Henry this year. We've got so many guys that are just unbelievable stars. Kyle Hamilton's up and coming. That's just a stud. stars all the way across the board, guys that are the top in the game.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why. It's because Eric DaCosta, obviously learned from Ozzie Newsome, but Eric DaCosta and Ozzie Newsome have done a fantastic job of bringing in great guys.
Yeah.
Whether through the draft or free agency, they're phenomenal at what they do.
One of the class organizations.
And you can look at all of their draft picks, since the inception of the Ravens. You start from Jonathan Ogden, your very first pick, and Ray Lewis, your very second pick.
Yeah.
And then you can just keep going all the way down the list from year to year, and it's impressive to see what they put together.
I really thought over the past 2 years they'd have at least one more Super Bowl, but Lamar's still in his prime, the team's still in his prime. Good things ahead here. But we're here to talk some big things, too. Check this out, some cleats here. Look, who's ready to explain them? I need to know about them.
I got it. I'll jump into this one, but this is a company called Cadix Cleats, and it's something that Todd and I got involved with about 8 months ago or so. Todd originally saw it on social media. He was browsing Instagram like he always does, right? Spending way too much time.
It's the algorithm, the feed. And
That's
I'm
right.
just glad, these cleats came up in my feed. Everything.
And he was kind of exploring cleats for his son.
Yeah.
And this came across his feed, and when you look at it from the outside, you think, man, that's interesting, especially as former players who have worn cleats our whole life.
Yep.
And my whole career, and certainly Todd's whole career, cleats haven't changed. And the molds on cleats have kind of been different designs and all that kind of stuff, but the function, the innovation in cleats hasn't changed. And there's been so much talk in the NFL in particular about player safety.
Yes.
And it's really started with helmets and head safety and all that kind of stuff. It's gone to shoulder pads. It's gone to all the other different areas of the body. It hasn't been addressed at the cleat level yet.
Yes.
And at the ground level. And there's been a lot of talk about field conditions and turf versus grass, all that kind of stuff. But what this company is doing is groundbreaking, because they have a cleat that has studs that can move in every direction. It can spin 360 degrees. And what that does is it reduces rotational forces on your lower extremities, on your knees, on your ankles, so your cleat won't get stuck in the ground when your body's trying to go a different direction and cause a non-contact injury, which are the most frustrating of all of them, right? Because we've all been injured in football. Most of which are contact-type injuries, but you see the Odell Beckhams in the Super Bowl and those kind of injuries where they're just planning changing direction. That cleat sticks a little bit too much, doesn't release from the turf, and all of a sudden you end up with an ACL injury. And so this is an innovative, really cool product that is addressing that from the ground up and trying to make the game a little bit safer in a space that hasn't really been innovated ever. And so we got involved. It's been awesome. We have about 20 athletes right now in the NFL that wore them this past season. Started with Joe Flacco, who's a friend of ours. He loved them. He wore them through preseason, training camp, all that kind of stuff, all throughout the season. He's now an investor with us. And he believes in the product so much. And other guys like Matthew Judon, Juan Thornhill, guys across the league who have loved these cleats and won't take them off.
Can we find these in big box stores? Do we find them online? Like, how can we get them?
So right now we're direct to consumer online at cadix.com.
Yes.
And this cleat is not just limited to American football. Obviously, there's a huge need in women's sports in particular, because when you look at women and their physiology, they are far more predisposed to ACL and knee injuries than males are for whatever reason. And I don't think we totally understand the science behind it yet. But this product is huge for women's soccer, women's lacrosse. And so we have some of the top women's lacrosse players. One of the individuals on our board, Kayla Sharples, plays for the KC Current in their professional league. And so there's a huge need for a product like this, not only in American football, but certainly in women's sports, and something that we're addressing.
It's great. By the way, Todd, a couple more years in the NFL, if you had somebody's cleats, come on now. Less wear and tear.
The question always is what if? You look at it and you're like, man, I think back to my first injury and what if? You know? And so that's what this is addressing, the smart stud technology. It's patented technology, and it's really been impressive. The feedback, the response we've received from everybody's been fantastic.
Fantastic. By the way, Super Bowl is Sunday, so I got to ask you guys a question. Who's winning this bad boy? Who is it? Eagles, Chiefs?
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Okay.
Only because I love Andy Reid. At some point, for guys that played and we've done all this, unless it's the Ravens, it's hard for me to root for anybody.
That's true.
And so you root for more individuals than anything. And Andy Reid is a guy that I've loved from even before I was playing, when he was with the Eagles.
True.
And so he's been a great influence on me and a great friend to me over the years. And so I'm rooting for him to win.
There you go. How about you, Dennis? Who do we got?
Well, and when you're old enough like Todd and I, and Todd's a lot older than I am, obviously, most of your friends now in these games are coaches.
There you go.
Unfortunately,
Todd
mentions Andy Reid. On the other side of the ball, offensive coordinator for the Eagles, Kellen Moore, is a good friend of mine. And so I'm going to lean the Eagles in this one because of my relationship with Kellen, and I'm going to be rooting for him hard come Sunday. But, Andy Reid's awesome, a BYU guy, which is where, I got my start. And so I always root for him. But I think it'll be a great game. I think I think so much is made about these two offenses, Saquon Barkley, Patrick Mahomes, all the high-flying, points that everybody expects to happen on Sunday. But it's these defenses that, in my mind, I think are going to be the difference in this game. So I think it's going to be a little bit more low scoring than people think. I'm going to hammer the under on this one, but
he's a big bettor.
I love it. There you go.
I won't be betting. I'm not a bettor, but if I were, I'd be hitting the under.
Hammer the under.
But I'm going to take the Eagles. To answer your question, I'm going to take the Eagles on this one.
So we got one Chiefs, one Eagles here, but the one thing we do know, two great football players for the Baltimore Ravens and putting out a great product with these cleats here. Make sure you guys check it out online. Get them where they are available. Super Bowl 59 Radio Row. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Great.